Okay. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, can you hear me? There you go. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. I
Okay.
just can't I just cannot get this to work on my computer ever.
No, the computer, I don't do the live streams from the computer at all. Because you have to do a weird kind of,
Yeah, but I'm hoping people can hear me okay.
no, you can
And
hear you perfectly. I think it's even better on the phone. I think for the most part, live,
I hope
especially,
my wrinkles are like.
let me see. Hold on 1 second. Let me see something here. Oh, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Here I come back. Okay, can you see me now?
Hmm?
Okay, perfect. And do I sound okay, or do I sound like I'm in a can?
You sound fine.
Okay, Kurt, good. These are new
Oh,
headphones, so these new headphones
perfect.
are not like cans linked up with a piece of string, so we're good.
Although that's not a bad effect, you know.
No,
I
it's
hope
not.
people like my chickens. I hope they're not offended by my two rubber chickens. I got those from a really good friend, a nice store here in town. Weeping Willow is what it's called, and they have all different sorts of cool stuff like candles and stickers and fun stuff. So
They're beautiful chickens.
they are
They're beautiful.
they're lovely chickens. So
I'll
they
try
know
to
I'm
take a
a
pic.
they know it's my spirit animal, so they got me a couple chickens.
It is.
Anyway,
I'm trying to get on. Beautiful chickens, by the way. Let me get on our page. Okay, so I'm on our page, and I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. It's still not over. The madness isn't over yet.
it's not. It's been crazy.
Yeah, it's been super crazy. I literally am. I'm exhausted,
Mhm.
and we were just laying down. We went out for lunch and then came back, lay down. I nap a lot more at this age. So
Mm. See, if I nap, I'm down for the rest of the day. I'm done.
I think we napped twice today. So napped twice and then, yeah, I know. I enjoy my naps a lot more. So that's kind of funny.
Love it. Yeah.
So
So feeding your soul. So what do you do to feed your soul during this time of the year, especially when you're like, because you flew a lot this week, lots of
it's not
hours.
over. It's going to be bad. Going into January, I'm flying a lot.
Yeah.
So I flew over Christmas. I was flying on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. And I'll tell you what, the I had this moment where, and I'll share it on our laugh lines on one day, like our gratitude pay on our gratitude
Yeah.
day. It was, excuse me, I was drinking some tea. Um, it was pretty hectic. I was surprised at the loads we had. I mean, we we still had a lot of passengers. Not like we didn't have anybody flying on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Yeah.
But my last leg on Christmas Day coming home, I didn't get home until 2 a.m. So I fly like in the evening. So it throws off your clock a little bit.
Mhm.
But there was barely anybody on the plane for a last leg coming home. And I was able to sit like, go up to the window, the front window, where like a
Mhm.
passenger was sitting. We had no passengers in the front rows. Everybody just decided to sit towards the back and just, you know. And then when I looked out the window, the stars were unbelievable. How many stars I saw out there. Because we had the lights down low on the airplane.
Mhm.
And I was looking out the window. I was so tired. My shoulders were killing me. And I was like, wow. I go, just the shape of the earth and the horizon, like, in the horizon and the lights underneath the clouds
Yeah.
and the stars in the sky. And I'm like, oh, I'm just so grateful. Like, even though I was working, I was just really grateful that that was my view. Like, I was able to see something so beautiful before coming home. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So that grounded me
That feeds your
for sure.
soul.
Yeah, it does feed my soul. Not only that, but kind of reflecting, and I spoke with another, another pilot. She and I had stopped and get something to eat. This is like a year ago or so, and she and I were sitting and talking
Yeah.
when we were getting some food before we boarded our airplane, and she went through like a lot. Like she put herself through like flight school. I think she may have been a flight attendant, put herself through flight school, and just accomplished so many things. And she's like, and she nailed it on the head when she said, when you're up there, your problems just seem so small. It is so true. When you're up in the sky and you're flying, and everything just seems like not as big of a deal, as when you're on the ground. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Everything just seems so much, problems just seem so much smaller
Yeah.
when you're up there. So, mhm,
Well, I know
that's
the
true.
house. I know the houses and cars look a lot smaller when you're
They
up there.
do. Yeah, they look really teeny tiny. They look teeny tiny, and then,
Mhm.
everything just looks so teeny tiny.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
That's neat.
hmm.
Yeah. I always
Yeah.
like getting a window seat just because I love, hey, there's Michael
Who's that?
Fasula and probably Kim with him watching. Hi, guys.
Okay.
We're just talking about some ways to feed your soul, especially at this time
Hmm.
of the year when things are so crazy and like what keeps you grounded.
Hmm.
So during this busy time of the year, and please feel free to chime in and let us know what
Yeah.
keeps you grounded. But Debbie was saying how just even though she had to fly over the holidays, being able to
Hmm.
see down below and see the horizon and all of that was something that really brings her a lot of joy. And
Hmm.
I love that too. I really do
Oh,
when I'm flying. So some people like really want that aisle seat, which that's more convenient for bathroom usage.
yeah,
I
for
just
sure.
yeah, I just hold it because I want
Or
to
don't
see the
drink,
view. I want to see the view.
don't have any coffee before you get, or don't have any coffee about an hour or so before you go.
That's
You
right. That's
know,
right. Yeah. So
if you want to sit by the window. And then I was in my overnight was in Palm Springs, and I went for a walk. And
oh,
and
nice.
just enjoying, like, I just went for a walk, and there's this little park not far from the hotel between like downtown Palm Springs and the hotel,
Yeah.
and it's just palm trees, and the sky was blue, and there was water elements. And that's another thing, being in water and around water really grounds me. There's something
Mhm.
cleansing about being around water or in the water.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to my girlfriend last night, Carolyn, and she was saying the same thing. She said, I love being by water. She goes, they have a boat and they go on the lake, or her father lives in Florida. She visits him,
Yeah.
and she just loves being around water. And we were talking last night about it, and I said, well, I go, Carolyn, because you're an empath like me. There's something very cleansing when you're like an empath, and you kind of let emotions and other people's stuff kind of attach to you.
Yeah.
You kind of absorb it a little
Yeah.
bit. Um, Being around water or in water, is there's something cleansing about it,
Yeah.
there's some there's some kind of physical like thing that happens to you when you're in the water when you go into the ocean. It feels like you're like just refreshed, almost like a baptism in a way too. It's like renewing, you know.
Yeah. And,
So
and a
that's
real
another.
and a real quick baptism if a shark grabs your leg and pulls you under, you know.
Pardon me?
I said a
What
real
happened?
quick baptism if a shark grabs your leg and pulls you under.
Well, yeah, hopefully not. But
I stay
yeah,
out of the
there's
ocean.
something that,
I'll put my toes in. I'll put my toes in. I'm afraid of the. I don't want to get in their territory, in their home.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I go like it, it's, I mean, I'm cautious, but I
Mm.
can't, oh well, I guess if I feed a shark, he's probably eaten for about a week then.
Well,
If
and
they
that's
eat
the thing.
me, I've saved a few people.
You've made a contribution to our world. So I mean,
Hmm.
basically, if you look at it,
Yeah, but but yeah, that is a very grounding, being around water,
yeah,
being in the water,
sand and
Uh,
toes too, or
oh
toes and
yeah,
sand.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that too,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
definitely. Just being in that moment,
Love
enjoying
that.
nature. We're talking
Oh,
about the ground, which is so funny. We were talking yesterday about the grounding sheets. Have you heard of those grounding sheets that people are buying?
yes. Yes.
I want
I've
to get a
wanted to get.
set.
Me too. I was going to say I want to get that. Check it out.
I would love to get a set and let's do like a product review of them. Like do like a little experiment of like how you feel before you slept in them, sleep in them for a while, and then do like a little like what have you noticed?
Yeah.
But they're supposed to be a big deal and scientifically tested and proven.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I know when we were doing our grounding techniques, I know I feel better when I walk in the grass,
Yeah.
start hugging trees as we were talking with our last guest. She
Yeah.
was talking about grounding.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Another place
mhm,
I love to ground is, and maybe that's why I really enjoy where I live because I
mhm.
kind of have that combination of the big body of water, and
Yeah,
then the waterfalls, and then the kind of the it's now mountains here, but
right.
we've got some really high
You got
hills
big
here.
rocks.
Yeah, I mean, I just absolutely love the mountains. There's something
Mm,
about,
yes.
I know I went to Zion once, and um, there was this big boulder that must have fallen from way up,
Hmm.
but it was sitting there, and it's crazy because it's a solid piece of rock, right?
Yeah.
Um, but you can just like feel that energy of that, and the sun was beaming down on it,
Hmm.
and I went over and I just put my hands on it. And I still like to this day remember how that felt on my
Yeah.
hands. And the same with when I was in the Swiss Alps,
Yeah.
when I hugged the side of the mountain. Something about, I don't know, the energy in big boulders and rocks like that. It just
Yeah.
makes you gives you perspective that,
Hmm.
you know, we're this big.
Hmm.
When you look at the force of nature
Hmm.
and everything
Especially
that
from
is
the sky.
in nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's so
Yeah, I know.
cool. Yeah,
So.
I love that.
But you're right because anything that's very solid, like I love being around not only the ocean but the mountains. I love the mountains too.
Hmm.
I don't know
Hmm.
what I love more, the ocean or the mountains, but
I
the
know.
mountains, there's something like so comforting about the mountains when you're surrounded by the mountains. And large, like large trees, like in Oregon, they have the biggest trees I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, those trees are
Yeah,
huge, like skyscraper huge to me.
yeah,
But there's something very, very, you feel very secure, protected. You feel very protected, secure, warm, you're safe. There's something very safe that, when you're
yeah,
around that stuff too.
absolutely. Yeah,
Mhm. So,
yeah. I love all things nature, and you can get that. I mean, we're not, a lot of us don't live by the ocean,
no,
and
no, but you can
but
get that in,
yeah,
you can bring those elements in your home. So, like, even in have a few, a bunch of books, and I even have like some feng shui, and they talk about bringing the earth elements into your
Yeah.
home, like, plants. Like we have plants.
Yeah.
My daughter-in-law, she loves,
She
plants.
loves
So
plants.
she does.
Hmm.
She's really good with them. So I mean, I do too. So we just have plants all around,
Yeah.
or even water elements, little fountains in your house. I mean, that
Hmm.
before I even started flying and was able to do any of that stuff, I still in my house had plants, a little water
Yeah.
feature in my little area that I meditated.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I also love, this keeps me grounded too, is I love my little Zen garden, guys.
Oh, yeah. This is really cool. Look at this.
This
Oh
is my
my
little,
gosh.
I love this thing. And then I love just like raking the sand
Uh-huh.
and
Who's look,
drawing
who's
little pictures.
looking who's looking at you, giving you the eye?
My son's walking upstairs. So he's just minding his own business. So it's okay. I was looking at him like, look at my little thing here. But yeah, and it comes with like, you can get it on Amazon, and you just, you can make your little waves in the sand, and it's very relaxing and very grounding.
Yeah.
So even something like this can feed
Hmm.
your soul. And sometimes when I get into, I'm huge on, everyone knows, huge on law of attraction and manifesting, because we, we create our own stuff, and everything we see every day, stuff that you put in front of you and you see, you create your own magic.
You know what you're
So,
reminding me of? That
oh,
Bob the artist guy. What's his name?
I know,
Bob. With
Bob Ross.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to take my magic chopstick, and I also write things in my, hi Melody. I also write things in my stand. Like I'll write when I'm thinking of something, when I want something to happen, I'll write, yes, 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 that's a yes, you know?
Love it. And then
So
you
yeah,
grab
so
and then you grab a piece of your crab rangoon and pop it in your mouth.
now it's a little crunchy. But yeah. So you could bring all those grounding
Mhm.
elements into your house. You don't have to go to those places. Even having pictures. So even before I started flying, I would hang pictures up. When Christina moved out, I took over her room, and that became my Reiki
Yeah.
room. And I had my little, my Zen garden and my
Yeah.
plants. I have my plants, and I had a fountain and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would sit in my room and I had, not this in this room, but I had a hot air balloon. I had a picture of like a mountain. So even creating your own space, a space for you, where you could either, if you don't meditate, you could just relax and,
Yeah.
and just have time for yourself, light a candle of a scent that's very, that you love.
Yeah.
You like cedar or like pine or whatever that's like earthy,
Yeah.
and sit in that room. And that's the perfect way to ground yourself, is in a space you created just for yourself,
Yeah.
to sit quietly, and even headphones. Even when I meditate, I put headphones on and I do running water and nature birds.
Yeah.
So just sitting in the room with the pictures and the plants,
Mhm.
your little Zen garden and your little fountain and your little headphones with like nature sounds,
Yeah.
you've totally transported, like, you
Yeah.
totally transported somewhere else just by the sight and the sounds and the
Yeah.
sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how I
I love
started
that.
to
Yeah.
ground. Hmm.
Well, even places I've gone, and I don't do it illegally, but going to the beach and finding a couple of seashells, and I
Okay.
have I have my little seashell. I don't want to even call it a garden. I got this thing. It says I always take a little piece of the beach home with me, and I have my
Oh.
seashells in that, and just I have that and my conch shell.
Hmm.
Like even just seeing that gives me a piece of the beach when I'm
Yeah.
not there, you know.
Hmm.
It makes me so happy. It just fills my heart.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I think that there's so many different ways to stay grounded, and
Hmm.
I think basically the main point here is like what you said, Debbie, is like finding that space in your day, every
Yeah.
day, finding a little space, even if it's for a few minutes, just to sit
Yeah.
and breathe or look at a beautiful picture that you took,
Hmm.
you know, just to reset because the holidays
Yep.
can be very stressful and stress is not
Hmm.
good for your body.
No, no. And everybody knows that stress can make you sick.
Yeah.
That's really hard. And it is hard. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's hard not to let things get to you. I mean,
Mhm.
there's some days where, especially when your guard's down, when
Yeah.
you're super exhausted, you have a lot on your mind, you have a lot to do,
Hmm.
it can totally, everything can kind of get away from you and get out of hand so quickly.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
you have to force yourself. You have to kind of force yourself, like, I need about 5 minutes just to even sit quietly, just for 5 minutes. And you do. That's like
Yeah.
when you respond to someone, you're in an argument or if something is about to escalate and you count to 10, because that
Hmm.
kind of breaks that momentum. It
Hmm.
kind of brings that momentum back down
Yeah.
and you kind of, reset yourself. And it's a reset. Grounding is actually like a reset button for you
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm.
So, mm,
Absolutely. Yeah.
mm,
I love every bit of that. I, yeah, that's what and you know what I do during the holidays is my favorite part is not putting up the tree. I shouldn't say putting up the tree. That's anybody who gets my newsletter, my author newsletter, saw my picture of me
mhm,
putting lights on the tree last year. Mike took my picture and it was not pretty.
mhm,
Um, not a proud moment, but but I did tell him to take the picture because the
mhm,
lights were all tangled. But once the tree is up and just keeping the TV off,
mhm,
having the tree on, the lights, and they're twinkling and glittering, and just looking at my ornaments and just
mhm.
sitting there with a nice cup of tea or a cup of water. Um,
Yeah,
that's really grounds me. Just watching the lights, you know,
yeah,
taking those simple moments of the holidays to just
mhm,
quiet your soul and quiet your mind.
mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that one too. So, and it's different. It could be different for everybody else. Like,
Hmm. Absolutely.
so, but yeah, even just looking at them, like, so, when I'm driving around and I'm looking at the lights and stuff, around
Yeah.
Christmas time,
Yeah.
around the holidays or whatever. And he just, you know,
Hmm.
it's winter. Winter's coming. So it's like, there's some, brightness left in the short days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, and
so
even if you can find humor, right? So the other
yeah.
day we went to Menards. And for those of you who tune in who don't know what a Menards is, because I did have that, I had someone say, I have no clue what a Menards is.
Like
It's
a Home
similar to
Depot.
it's
Yeah.
similar, yeah, similar to Home Depot, those different types that, your hardware store. But anyways, we went in and they have all like the day prior they had all the Christmas decorations and the trees and the music's
Mhm.
going, and we went in on Christmas Eve and we had like two things to get, and they were already pulling all the trees up front and putting like sale things on it. And I made a joke to Paul and I said, "Oh, they're like making space for the Valentine's Day and the
Yeah.
St. Patty's Day stuff already." So, if you can like even go into that funny space, that really helps to feed your soul as well. And it
Yeah.
helps to, just
Yeah.
kind of lighten the mood, if you will. And again, like we're trying to get the stuff and get home, and that just like we giggled about that.
Mhm.
There's so much research talking about how we used to laugh a lot when we were kids.
Mhm.
When you're a kid, you laugh like hundreds of times a day. And when you turn
Right.
into an adult, like you hardly laugh anymore. And so like it's really important to find those moments, that are humorous or that you can get a
Yeah.
giggle out of. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, I often think to myself too, is like, yeah, I look forward to those times where I'm going to have a situation where I'm going to laugh really hard.
Yeah.
Where you laugh so hard that you're running to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So that's like,
Yeah.
so I love those moments. And, like you said, try to find, try to find the humor in a lot of stuff, because life, don't take it so seriously.
Right.
If you start taking it so
Absolutely.
serious, then, you
Yeah.
know, just kind of, you know, I'm not that grown up. I don't know. I don't want to be a grown up. Not like that.
Mm-hmm. No,
Mm-mm.
keep it silly. Well, even last night you had me laughing so hard. Debbie, for those of you tuning in, Debbie made the funniest face last night. She was like, I don't even know what it was. It was like, and she came really close to the camera. Eee.
We were talking about some good ideas, and I just
Yeah.
get so yeah. Whenever I get like these downloads or these information downloads and these great ideas and stuff, I get so excited that my mind runs faster than my mouth, or
So she
I
does
could absorb it. It's
this.
like the ideas are coming so fast. I was like, oh my God. I was like scribbling all this stuff because it was just coming. The ideas were just coming. So I'm like, I gotta get these ideas down on paper. Well, let me get a piece of paper and get these ideas down. So I got really excited. I get really excited, or even just like at my job, I find things funny.
Mm-hmm.
I had a coworker I was flying with over the holiday, and she says to me, she goes, "You really like to talk, don't you?" She goes, "You should have a talk show." I go, "I do."
By the way,
By the way, here's my card. So I was like, and then I have another story, but yeah, but it was just so funny. She goes, "Yeah, I don't like to talk." She goes, "My husband's a talker." I go, "Well, I go, my husband doesn't like really to talk either. He's really quiet. I do most of the talking." I go, "It's always the opposites attract." I go, and I even tell my husband, I go, "I feel like the opposite thing, especially when it's extreme opposite. If you have someone that's a real talker, like I talk a lot, and then my husband who does not talk a lot at all. I
yeah.
feel those polar opposites really complement each other. I mean, you may have people that kind of talk and are kind of don't talk, and they're kind of in the middle together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I think like with my husband and I, like I do a lot of talking. And that's like even, when I talk on the airplane too, like I do the announcements as well. Sometimes at the end of the day, I'm like, I told Jim, I'm like, I'm really tired of talking. And he's like, is that even possible? I go, I know. I go, my mouth is fatigued from talking.
So don't talk to me right now.
Yeah. I'm like, it's just really fatigued from talking. But I recover real quickly. So then
Yeah.
I start talking again. But she was so funny. And I told her and I said, "Oh, but your husband talks." She goes, "Yeah, she goes, "Yes, he's like you." She goes, "And I'm probably like your husband." I'm like, well, you see how that all works out? If you married somebody who didn't talk at all, or my husband married somebody that didn't talk at all, you'd be wondering if he even had any children. Nobody would know. It was like, that's high. I don't know. Do you want it? Do you want to make a chat?
Did
Or
eat? You wouldn't eat because nobody would say, "What do you want for dinner?" or "What are we
what do
having
you,
for dinner?"
right. Yeah, you would know what you want to eat. You would know, all that stuff. So it's kind of funny.
See, Paul and I would think that, I don't know, it's really funny. We're kind of equal,
Yes,
but like
you guys are
when he meets strangers, he's like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's got a new friend
and he's
again.
inquisitive.
He is.
Your Paul's inquisitive. Like he like, why do they name this restaurant this? I'm going to ask these people why they call this restaurant,
I
this name and stuff
asked
like
for
that.
him when I came by you.
Yes, yes, yeah. Because he wasn't even here and he was curious.
That's right.
Jim just like leaves it alone. It's called, Mayberry Junction. Like, but yeah, you and Paul, I was thinking about that too. You guys are definitely equal. Like you guys are like equal with all that
Yeah.
stuff, where Jim and I are a little bit more polar, with that
Yeah.
thing. So,
Yeah.
or his fear is like when we go somewhere with like when we go out and then he sees my face, like, oh my gosh, he's gonna talk to this stranger.
Here she goes again. Hey, Dunstan, glad you're joining. We're we're talking about grounding yourself during the holidays, and now I don't know, how do we get into talking?
Just talking. just, you know what? And that's like what our last guest we were talking about too.
Yeah.
It's just let the conversation flow, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Absolutely.
we touched on a lot of subjects and
We
stuff like that.
did. We did. We've made a lot of headway tonight.
We did. And in our last episode we did too, like, after we shut off the camera. Oh my God, we covered on so many topics. It became like, very casual. I like that.
It was
Just chit chatting.
amazing.
It was really
Our
fun.
last, if you didn't tune into our last guest, if you didn't tune into any of the guests yet, or just some of them, definitely check out the guests that we've had. But our last guest, she was amazing. She's from the British Columbia area in Canada, and she was our tree hugger.
Yeah.
She loves being out, and she talked about how that grounds her
Grounding.
and how that feeds her soul is being out
Yes.
amongst the trees and in nature.
Hmm.
And I find even in the work that I do, when I ask veterans or caregivers, like, what is it that helps you to ground yourself? And a lot of times it's being outside. Gardening is a huge one for
Hmm.
them.
Yes.
Getting their hands in the dirt and making
Hmm.
plants grow and stuff like that. So it's amazing how that's an energy that pulls us all. It's an energy
Hmm.
that we're all from.
Yes.
And so
It's
to
connected.
get out of our house and connect
Hmm.
with the earth is so important. So,
I feel like we always, no matter how much we, pretty much evolved in as a human being in society or whatever it is, I
yeah,
feel like we always get drawn back to being grounded or being tied to the natural
yeah,
elements of the earth, like where we
yes,
came, like kind of like where we came from. Do you know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
It's like, it's like, and I get a little hippy dippy on it, but it's true. Like coming, the elements just of the earth, the organic, stuff of like the trees are organic, the flowers are organic,
yeah,
the earth, all the nature elements. We're part of nature. It's just like being tied to, like where it all began or, where we all
mhm,
began and how like everybody's so connected because we are. We're made of like of the same elements and the same stuff of, you know, I look at it a little goofy. Like I look at the earth and the stars thing. And we just like, if you break it all down, we're just all you connected. But it's true. We always like get drawn back to like, where it all
we go
began.
back to our caveman days, really, if you
Yes.
think about it.
Oh, sometimes that.
Start a campfire in
Mhm.
the summertime. Start a campfire. Everyone wants to be out there. Everybody's like, "Woo,
Mhm.
fire!"
Yes.
We're like cavemen.
Yes. No, it
except,
totally is. It takes.
except we have s'mores, which the cavemen I don't
Yeah.
think had marshmallows back
Well,
then.
also, why do all men like to barbecue? Well, it takes them back to their.
Right.
Whenever I
And some
see like
women. And
a
some women.
man,
Yeah.
yeah, and some women, but like particularly when I see like men
Yeah.
barbecuing or they like to be close to fire, I'm like, yeah, okay, getting you back to your
Yeah.
caveman days, aren't you? Yeah, you got that, like, that, program memory,
Yeah.
and or for me, like, Jim, someone always comments on when I order breakfast or something, I like my toast burnt. I'm like, I don't know, maybe it just takes me back to my caveman days, where I like everything a little bit charcoaled and burnt.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. My grandma
hmm
used to burn toast for me. She took
hmm
bread, a slice of
hmm
bread, she'd weave it in a fork, and then she'd turn on her gas stove, and then she'd toast my bread on the gas
hmm
stove, but it would make it burnt. So there was one journaling activity I did. It was like, just they gave us these prompts.
hmm
And one of the prompts was burnt toast reminds me of, and I'm
Oh, that's
like,
great.
oh, my grandma. And other people are like, that's disgusting. I'm like, wow, it
I
brings
love
back
burnt
really
toast.
great, yeah,
Yeah.
great memories for me.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
but yeah, so everybody, just do everything you can during the holiday to
Hmm.
keep yourself heads above water,
Hmm.
taking deep breaths,
Yep.
and then get ready because we're starting the 365-day countdown to it happening all over again.
Crazy, isn't it? Every year it gets here quicker and
Faster
quicker.
and faster.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it sure does. So every year is a little mortality check too. It's like, geez, I have this one journal. It's so funny. It's like, I don't know. I don't have it down here, but I have this one journal. I might have had it over here, but it was in the beginning of the journal. There was this guy that I follow, like on YouTube, and he talks about journaling and what you want to accomplish in the next year. And he says on that front cover, behind the front cover, put down how many days you have until like you turn like 75 or 80, like how many days left you have, kind of a thing.
Mhm.
And that's like, and I like, I only got 18,000 more days until, or
Yeah.
whatever the number was,
Yeah. Yeah.
till I turn 75,
Yeah.
so what are you gonna, in journal, he had the journal set up great. Like he had one section, like he had it sectioned off, like have the journal sectioned off. And what do you want to accomplish with your family? What do you want to accomplish in your career or personal
Mhm.
development? And then, miscellaneous goals.
Yeah.
And then put in the front cover how many days you have left until you turn 75. So
I have
that's
something
pretty cool.
I have something similar. I got this
Oh
book.
yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a bucket list guru.
Hmm.
Um, and his book has something similar, but you cross off, you have
Hmm.
this like grid
Yeah.
of block squares, and you cross off how many years you've lived and how many years you have left. And
Hmm.
it's quite remarkable because, when you check those boxes, you see like just
Hmm.
this little bit left
Yeah.
that you have. And that's,
Yeah. The
and it's
balance.
really, it can be kind of depressing,
Hmm.
but if you use that tool in the right way, it can be an eye opener and it can wake you up.
Hmm.
And, some of the stuff that Debbie and I are planning on focusing on this coming year is those things. Like what's important to you? What are the things you want to achieve in your life,
Hmm.
Um, and don't wait.
Right.
Don't wait
Hmm.
to do those things,
Right. And the
start
tool
working
and the
on.
tools and the tools, we're going to talk about giving you tools on how to. A lot of people don't know where to start, or like, I don't even know what I want. You kind of like, okay, do you want to spend more time at home? Do you want to work less? Do you want to travel to a different country or even a different state or
Yeah.
even who knows what it is? Like, how do you even begin? Because sometimes we get an idea of what we want and we think that, how do I even, we get into the mindset of it's impossible for me to do X. It's impossible for me to go to, let's say, Machu Picchu or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is, or to take a class. Like you may want to take an art class, or you might, who knows what it is. It can be, something huge or something that's huge to you.
Yeah.
Everybody's idea is
Different.
different,
Hmm.
but it's totally different. But the process of getting there is, very similar. Like having your idea. What do you want, what do you want to accomplish? Or what do you want to see? Or what do you want to do? Have that idea. Imagine it,
Yeah.
how are you going to get there? And sometimes even just having your idea, writing it down and visualizing it, don't worry so much about the how you're going to do it,
Right.
because that will come later. That'll just start with your basic core idea of what you want to achieve, and
Yeah.
the how it's going to happen. You're going to start getting those connections and that information later on. Just having your idea
Yeah.
and what you want will start to broaden your vision,
Hmm.
and then you'll start seeing opportunities coming out of nowhere. You'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, look, there's, let's say you want to go somewhere, you're like, oh my God, there's this group that are going to Indiana to this thing to see covered bridges or whatever.
Yeah.
You'll start seeing more and more stuff that gives you the
Yeah.
opportunity to achieve what you want.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Debbie and I have
so
done it, and nothing's impossible. I
nothing's
read something, there was
impossible.
some, and I gotta find it because I think I highlighted it or dog-eared the page. For those who
Mhm.
don't dog-ear, I dog-ear.
I
I
do
know
too.
it's
My
horrible
book.
to some people, but I have to. They're my books. I can do what I want.
That's
Anyways,
right. Yes.
but it talks about like, if you say something's impossible, oh, I know what it is. I think it's my book that I do my gratitudes in and all of that.
Mhm.
But it says, like if you say something's impossible, like has somebody done that before? And you're like, well, yeah, of course they did that. Well, then it's not impossible. It's
Right.
possible.
It is
So
possible.
so the more you tell yourself it's impossible, the the chances are you're probably not going to do that. Like
Right.
you have to look at the
You're
possibility.
already set up a
A block,
block. You're by
right?
saying
Exactly.
it's impossible is already a block.
Yeah.
It's already like I'm not even gonna try.
Right.
I'm not even gonna look into it. It's impossible. Nothing's impossible. Trust me,
Mhm.
nothing is
No.
impossible. Nothing is impossible. Trust me on that one. But it's kind of interesting because there was another analogy done with this was breaking like the world record of sprinting, the fastest person
Mhm.
on earth. One person breaks the record. I mean, so no human has ever ran that fast. It's impossible to run faster than this
Yeah.
human. Sure enough, someone with the mindset that says, no, I'm going to break the record, breaks the record. Even if it's by a second
Yeah.
or 1 or 2 seconds, they still broke that record. Again, someone else, well, now for sure, it's
Right.
impossible. Now this is the fastest human. Nope. How many people after that has broken a record?
Yeah.
Many,
Yeah.
many. So it is
Mhm.
possible.
Yeah.
So definitely.
And we're proud of you all, and you can do anything that you set
Mhm.
your heart to doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
100%.
like that. Yeah. 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 Oh gosh, I love this conversation. This was wonderful.
Mhm.
I
Me
love
too.
anything about, grounding and things
Mhm.
that bring you joy in your life. Because life
Mhm.
can be stressful, life can be very just blah sometimes.
Mhm.
So
Or unbearable.
fill your space, fill your heart, some
Mhm.
time in your day with those things that bring you joy. So
Yep.
important.
Oh, 100%.
Hmm.
100%.
Yeah.
To surround yourself. And then Gina and I have so many goodies coming for the next year for you guys. Surround yourself by just, man, good vibes, meaning like be careful of the negative self-talk. Be careful of people who just love to dump, like, dump their problems all the time, the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
You do become like the 5 people you surround yourself the most with. And
Hmm.
um and also, we're going to talk about Gina and I like the scrolling. We all scroll on social media. I get caught up a little bit and fall down a rabbit hole of certain things, and I have to stop myself. Like it is addicting scrolling through stuff, and then all you see is just crap in the world.
Hmm.
So you're getting your information from this tiny little, this little phone that you hold in your hand, and you're just constantly like feeding yourself all of this stuff, this negativity stuff or whatever it is. There's so much going on in the world other than just the crap that the algorithm has set for you.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that coming up. Stuff to changing your habit of who you're going to follow on social media.
Hmm.
Start changing like the algorithm in your life. Change the
Yes.
algorithm,
Write that
change the algorithm in your
down.
life. Yeah, it's a download.
I love that. It's so true. And
Right?
really,
Yeah.
I've done it too. I've done it too. I think we've all been, unless you just don't have the smartphone,
Oh, I
um,
got a lot of
still have a flip phone, and there are some people out there, but um, oh my gosh, like you go down that rabbit hole and you're down there. And I like getting on the reels, the funny reels, but here's the thing, you guys, even with that,
hmm
how much time are you
Yep.
investing in doing that versus the things that you really want to achieve or get done, things that you
hmm
need to get done. Um,
hmm
it's about balance. And
hmm
so like Debbie and I are not saying don't ever go on social media, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. So we're happy you're here. So
Right.
we want you
This is
here.
different.
Yeah,
This is different.
it's different, totally
If
different.
we're talking about horrible things, we would have way more viewers right
We probably would. Yeah.
now. Yeah, but we're just
And
not going to do
a
that.
lot of hate mail. So, but yeah, it's
That
just
too.
like having a good balance.
Mm-hmm.
And, we were talking about doing the things that you want to do. Can you be, instead of going down that rabbit hole, could you be investing that time in, okay, what are some steps I can take today to work towards, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, this thing, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is for you, you know?
Or even if you don't know now,
Yeah.
kind of look back at stuff. Like
Yeah.
say, 10 years ago, I really wanted to take an art class,
Yeah.
or 10 years ago, I wanted to learn to crochet, but now it's too late. That is so not true.
Yeah.
It's never too late. It's
Yeah.
never too late to learn something new. And I remember even my mom, like, I would tell her, well, why don't you do this? You cannot teach the dog new tricks. Okay. Well, you can teach yourself some new tricks,
She knew the
like
cliche.
she has a ton of them. She has a ton of those. Every answer is a saying,
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, every answer is like, like a proverb or saying, like, why don't you do this? Oh, it's very hard to climb up the wet grass with the slippery shoes. And I'm like, yeah, but what does that have to do with this? That's really funny. She got a ton of them.
Yeah. Could
Hmm.
write a book.
She got a bunch of, you have no idea. And some of them don't translate well into English, so when you translate it to English, it just sounds, so it's kind of funny. But anyhow, but yeah, no, it's not too late.
Yeah, it isn't. I,
Hmm.
you know, and it's I think it's setting that intention too.
Mhm,
It took me
mhm,
20 something years to finally write the book. But you know
mhm.
what? I still kept saying I'm going to do it. Not, well, maybe one day if I do it, I'm going to do this. I will do
It's when you
this.
do it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
when.
Hmm. Um, Kind of interesting you're saying that. I feel like a lot of times too, what I hear from women our age and people our age kind of is I'm tired.
Hmm.
Like you hear that I'm just tired. Like you're a lot more achy and tired.
Yeah.
You're a little bit more tired now than you used to be, or you're a little bit more achy than you used to be. But I think with that is that we also lose passion
Hmm.
that makes us tired.
Hmm.
You know, we kind of like lose the passion, the fire, and the drive. We're tired. We don't, we're like, yeah, I'll just sit and watch the TV, or I'll just sit around and just wait for and count the days. I
Yeah.
think it's a loss of passion. We sometimes lose what we're passionate about. And
Hmm.
reigniting your passion for something is a
Hmm.
practice too.
Well, and I
Because,
think that the other thing that feeds into that too is
mm,
our self-talk, our
yeah.
self-talk, like what you said,
Mm-hmm.
like if you say I can't do this, it's impossible. Well, that can
Mm-hmm.
deflate your whole passion to even want to do it. And then
Mm-hmm.
listening to others telling you, well, you shouldn't do that. You're too
Mm-hmm.
old to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like the voices of others can certainly deflate that too.
Oh, oh
So,
God, yes, yeah. Don't ever listen to other people, yeah, unless they're encouraging you. But yeah, don't listen
yeah,
to the don't. I mean, your self talk is bad enough. Let alone listen to somebody else's self talk
right.
about you.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing.
Listen to
But
people if they say, hold your hand out, I'm going to give you $1 million right in this instant.
oh
Definitely
yeah,
hold your hand out.
yeah.
Don't decline
Don't be
it.
dumb. Don't be stupid. But it's
Just
like
know who you're listening to.
yeah, but it is. It's like finding passion and purpose. Like I love the book, like A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, like who survived. He survived Nazi Germany. He was in a concentration camp, lost his family, but he had a fire in him to survive. He's like, no, I need to survive to provide a purpose. I know
Yeah.
there's a purpose in my life.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. Like he survived that. He survived the worst things ever because he still had that passion and that purpose going inside him. Like when I get out of he's like, when I get out of here, I'm gonna do something for the world. And he did. He wrote the book and he helped a lot of he became, very well renowned psychologist
Yeah.
and stuff and helped many people
Yeah.
and started a new life here in the United States after losing like his family over there. So, that's another example of, he didn't give up.
Right.
He didn't stop. He didn't give up on hope. He had faith that he had a purpose and a passion to deliver that purpose
Yeah.
and he did. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah, absolutely.
mhm.
And it doesn't
So
mean that he didn't have days that he probably,
yeah.
was
Oh
feeling
God, yeah.
or,
Oh God,
I
yeah.
mean, I can't
No,
even
he probably
imagine being in that situation.
no. I mean, I can't even, and it's like you said, he's, we're all human.
Mhm.
We are all human and there's some moments, where I'm like, I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. But
I
that's
just want to go
where it's
to, I
important
just,
to surround yourself with people who,
yeah.
first of all, be aware of your need for self-care. That's number one.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
surrounding yourself with positive people and the right
Mhm.
voices that keep
Yeah.
you driving forward.
Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we ran out of steam, people, I think. Now I'm tired.
I am, I'm
It's
going
been
to go
a
back
week.
upstairs.
It's been a week.
I'm going to go. It's been a week. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm really impressed that we actually put something out on Christmas between Christmas and New Year's because I was just laying in bed and I was just like, I was literally, Jim and I did like a Harry Potter marathon. So I was just
Oh,
laying in bed and we took turns falling asleep and I would be snoring, he'd be snoring. And then I saw the time, like I got the notification. I go, oh, we gotta go live. I'm like,
yeah.
no, we gotta do it. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah. But I hope everyone has a wonderful
Yeah.
New Year. Celebrate. Have a wonderful, even whatever you do for New Year's, whatever is your tradition. If you sleep through it, good for you. Just have whatever you want to do. You do it on New Year's Eve and enjoy.
Absolutely. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. And stay tuned for what we have for all of you starting in the new year. So
Mm-hmm. Got some fun stuff coming
we
up.
got fun stuff coming up. So, and we're going to be asking some questions,
Mm-hmm.
getting your input. So we're
Mm-hmm.
really excited about all of it.
We're
So,
gonna get
and
interactive.
Debbie's doing this inside.
We're gonna get
Me too.
interactive.
Yeah.
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 All right.
So
All right, guys.
everybody have a happy new year. We love you. Thank you so much for following us. We are more than
Mm-hmm.
grateful. It's like the best holiday, Christmas, New Year, whatever, all of it. We are so thrilled to have our little podcast and our show, as Debbie called it.
Yeah.
And and Ozzy, that's Ozzy, such a good boy.
He's got a new toy for Christmas.
I bet he did. He loves it. Yeah,
He
but
loves
thank
this
you all
dog.
for following
Yeah,
us.
guys,
We
thank
love
you
you all.
so
And
much.
yep, take care.
We love y'all very much, yes. And then we'll talk, just talk to attacking me. Go, get out of here! Ah!
Bye, bye, guys.
I'm being attacked by a cute Labrador. Bye, guys. All right, Gina, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Happy New Year.